Hello everybody and welcome to another live research video where we will be taking a deep dive into the fight between McGee and Sean Brady. Very sorry to everyone for the false start there. Same thing happened yesterday. My streaming software I've got two monitors, right? I've got this monitor where this is what you see here, and I've got this monitor which kind of shows me like the live chat from you guys and all that kind of stuff. And for some reason, the last 2 days, when I fired up my streaming software, it's just changed the monitor that it uses to capture the desktop from. So I only realized that like into the stream, and then I have to cancel and start again. It's a nightmare. I don't know why it's doing it. It's a bloody nightmare. But anyway, want to kick off this stream live on Twitch by saying a big thank you to everyone that is watching, and a big thank you to everyone that has donated their Twitch Prime subscriptions to me. Twitch was just a moment ago showing me a list of all you guys, and I did go through your names, but technical difficulties mean I haven't got your names anymore. So I'm really sorry. 8 people have now donated your monthly Twitch Prime subscriptions to me, which I really appreciate, and because I know at the moment you don't get anything for it, because we were kind of forced into using Twitch when YouTube banned me from live streaming. So I have got a meeting with a company on October 24th who are going to design me like an animated Twitch layout and stuff with custom emotes and everything. So the benefits will be coming soon to you guys, although they did say it was like an 8 to 10 week design process, which means by the time I have a meeting with them next week, you're probably going to be looking at January before that animated design gets finished. But it is coming. I'm dead serious about this Twitch thing. It is way better than live streaming on YouTube. So if you are watching this on YouTube after the fact, check us out on Twitch, man. It's a much better platform. People are way more positive over there, not so many trolls and stuff. It's cool, man. So check it out, twitch.tv/Diary of a Pro Gambler. I will also leave a link in the description below. And again, thank you to everyone that's done the Twitch Prime. It means a lot. And what else am I forgetting? Yeah, if you do, I'm still learning about Twitch. I am still learning about Twitch. Lidosis donated some purple gems to me earlier. I don't know what they are, but thank you very much, dude. But I was going to say, I don't know too much about like the perks and all the custom emotes. And there's like custom language and stuff. Like people keep saying things like poggers. I don't know what the fuck that means. But the point I'm trying to get to, boys, help me out. Help educate me. If you are watching this after the fact on YouTube and you know how Twitch works, please leave a comment below with some ideas for some custom emotes, because I'm going to get tons of them designed. Maybe we can like get some like funny like MMA UFC memes or something. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just help me out. Leave your comments on YouTube, because we've got a week to figure out what we're going to do before that meeting with that company on the 24th. We'll get some bangers designed. But thank you to everyone that's watching today. As ever, please leave a comment on Twitch as the stream goes, and I will answer your questions as they roll in. And in this video, this video is probably going to be the shortest ever live research video that I've done for you guys, but I wanted to do it because there's not that much recent footage available on Sean Brady. But I did find one of his recent fights against Colton Smith available on Flow Combat, which you have to pay for to watch. So I thought it'd be pretty cool if I paid to watch it. And instead of being greedy and keeping it all to myself and watching it to myself, I would share it with you guys. We could watch it all together, because this will be the final fight that I watch as part of my research for this matchup. And it could be a decent one for betting. I'm kind of considering a bet on McGee at the moment, because he is a decent sized underdog. Odds are around 2.95, which is plus 195 for an implied probability of 34%. And I've only watched one fight of Sean Brady, because that really is all we've got to work with. I watched his last fight against Taj Abdul Hakim, and I'm not impressed, if I'm being completely honest. Quite a passive, tentative striker. Doesn't really have any power in his hands. Doesn't land that many strikes per round. Not a particularly strong wrestler either. Not particularly dangerous on the ground. The problem is there's not that much footage available on him. I really wish I could find this fight. So I'm sending the bat signal out to you boys. I've already asked all my members in my chat room if they knew where I could find this fight from LFA 49. No one's been able to find this so far. They've been hunting all morning. And it's kind of annoying because up until last month, Access TV had a website where you could go on there and you could buy events, basically like LFA's past events. And I've got a huge library of LFA events because of that, but I don't have this one. And since the LFA broadcasting deal ran out with Access TV last month, that website is no longer available. So there's nowhere that you can buy access to LFA fights anymore, which is super annoying. And I can't find it, in any of the other websites like Youku or stuff like that, which usually have these ones. But we do have this matchup. A few of these older ones are available, but it is worth noting that, Sean Brady's only 26 years old. So if we start diving back into his fights, back in 2016, back in 2017, he only would have been 23 or 24 years old back then. He's going to have changed so much over the last 2-3 years that it's not worth going back and watching the fights this far back. He's going to be a completely different fighter now. He's going to have improved and changed so much. Do also want to let you guys know that I'm not going to be doing any proper breakdowns this week in terms of the short videos where they've got really detailed structured breakdowns on the main event. Not going to be doing any of them this week because this event takes place Friday night. We've got one day less to research these fights and I've still got tons of fights to get through. But I will be doing another 2 of these live research videos. We will be live researching the fight between Karl Botniak and Sean Woodson. We'll also be live streaming the fight, or live researching the fight between Molly McCann and Deanna Bell-Beta. But we won't be doing any of these fights because I just haven't got time. This event being on a Friday it doesn't leave me much extra time, much spare time to plan out videos and stuff like that. So we are just going to keep banging on with as many of these live research videos as possible. So, X Factors. Let's go through the X Factors. So the first X Factor is Sean Brady is definitely undersized for the division. So he's only 5'9" with a 72-inch reach, which is very, very small for a welterweight. Which means, even Court McGee is just a regular sized welterweight. He will have a slight size and reach advantage, nothing major, but he should be the more physically imposing man in there on Friday night, which could be quite significant because, like I say, Sean Brady doesn't really have that much power in his hands. Might struggle to back McGee up, who likes to take control the centre of the octagon and pressure his opponents. Particularly in his last few fights as well, we've seen McGee go more to his grappling. And if Brady's undersized, obviously the bigger man will have a big advantage when it comes to grappling. So that's one of the things to think about. Although it is worth noting that, even though Court McGee on paper is only 34 years old, which is nothing major, in terms of fight miles, he does have an incredibly large amount of mileage on the clock. He's battled several very, very bad hand injuries over the years. He said at one point in his career he was fighting with an open hand because his hand was so badly injured, like the tendons and the ligaments and everything, that he can't actually close his hand and make a fist. And he has said that he is now fully recovered from that and his hand doesn't give him any problems. But fighters always say that kind of stuff. And his hand certainly impaired McGee for a very large percentage of his career. And with him being such a warrior, it would not at all surprise me if his hand was still causing him big problems and he was just trying to fight through it because he's tough as nails. So definitely a lot of mileage on Court McGee. And yeah, even though, it's not like his chin shot or anything, he's definitely not as sharp, definitely not as technical as he used to be, as we can see. He has struggled against some guys who aren't the best over the last few years. I mean, there's no shame in losing to guys like Alex Garcia. There's no shame in losing to guys like Santiago Ponzinibbio, Ryan LaFleur, but he's lost to some weaker guys like Diego Lima, Sean Strickland, Ben Saunders and stuff. So McGee's definitely not the guy that he used to be, but at the same time, Sean Brady's very inexperienced. 10-0 looks great, but if we look at the standard of opponent that he's been fighting, it's not great. Although Colton Smith is a decent fighter. I mean, if we look at his record, back when he was in the UFC, he was very good. He won the Ultimate Fighter. And you can see the 3 guys that he lost to are absolute monsters. I mean, he got released from the promotion after going on a 3-fight losing streak to Robert Whittaker, Michael Chiesa and Carlos Diego Ferreira, which is absolutely savage because... It's absolutely savage because they're 3 tough guys who are still doing very well in the UFC, right? So, to be released after losing to those 3 guys, pretty harsh. but he's done well since, going 4-1. So the point I guess I'm trying to get to in all of this is that Sean Brady beat him, which is a very good sign because Colton Smith's decent. So I'm hoping we'll be able to learn a decent amount from Brady here, because like I say, didn't blow my hair back in his last fight against Taj Abdul Hakim. So what we are now going to do is take a look at their social media profiles and find out where they've been training. So Court McGee travels around a few different jobs. He does actually travel around a few different jobs. I'm pretty sure that he, as well as being a fighter, works as a public speaker and kind of like travels around high schools and youth clubs and stuff, talking to the kids about his battles with drug addiction and stuff before he became a UFC fighter. But here we can see him with Anthony Smith's coach, Mark Montoya at Factory X. So Court McGee travels around a few different gyms, but I know that he does spend a lot of time at Factory X, which is great. You know, here we can see him training with... this is the guy that got absolutely brutally KO'd recently, wasn't it? What's his name, guys? Let me know in the chat. I forget. He fought his friend. There was a lot of hype behind him. He's always been a big favourite, and he got absolutely death-shotted. Can't quite remember his name, but there he is. Devontae Smith. Thank you very much, Lee Dosis. Devontae Smith reminding me that it's Devontae Smith. Here we've seen Chris Camozzi as well as Devontae Smith. Very nice shorts as well. I'm loving the shorts. And who else have we got? This looks like Maurice Smith. So there's 3 UFC fighters he's trained with. Ian Heinisch as well. So we've got Heinisch, Maurice Smith, Devontae Smith. And I'm pretty sure if we keep going, we'll find some pictures of Anthony Smith. Here is Ramsey Nijem, UFC alumni. He was released many years ago, but back in the day, Ramsey Nijem was decent. So plenty of UFC fighters past and present to train with. Who have we got here? Ramsey Nijem again. Nijem was training with the Diaz brothers for the longest time. Not sure what went on there. And as we say that, there's Jake Shields. I recognise this guy as well. Can't quite remember his name. Was that Josh? Josh something. Anyway, any pictures of Anthony Smith? There's gotta be, because I know he trains with Anthony Smith a lot. There's none in that picture. There we go. Court McGee and Anthony Smith are Factory X. So, Court McGee's coming out of a good stable of fighters. Sean Brady, on the other hand, trains at Renzo Gracie's franchise gym in Philadelphia, I believe. Yeah, Philadelphia. So doesn't train at any notable gym. Kind of trains with kind of like a regional gym without anyone really notable there. But because it's a Renzo Gracie franchise, he obviously does do a little bit of training at the Renzo Gracie main gym in New York City. So yeah, looks like the majority of his training picks are at this small Renzo Gracie gym in Philadelphia, though. Although, is that Corey Anderson? That looks like Corey Anderson. Anyone else I recognise? Paul Felder. Is that Jeff Neal? Not sure. Looks a bit like Jeff Neal, but probably not. So yeah, I mean, Brady, the point I'm trying to make is doesn't really train with any particularly great camp, although we can see some more guys here. Felder again. Of course, Felder lives in Philadelphia. No one else there of note. Very cool. So that is Sean Brady. So, in terms of my preparation, or in terms of where I am so far on this fight from a betting point of view, I've only been able to watch one of Sean Brady's fights. We're going to watch the second fight. I'm going to watch to form my opinion now together. Only watch this. Not impressed with him at all. Do potentially think that Court McGee could be a good bet here. What I found from Court McGee over his last few fights is that he is very good at controlling the centre of the octagon and pressuring his opponents, but there's not a lot of output there. There's not a lot of danger. So he'll get into these really good positions where he closes the distance and he backs his opponent up and forces him to fight on the outside. But then, I mean, realistically, realistically, he doesn't really do a lot with it. So, for example, he'll pressure his opponent, make the octagon really small for him, but then he won't actually be able to inflict that much damage. I mean, his offensive wrestling's not bad, but he doesn't go to it that often, and I find that when he does shoot in, it's very high above his opponent's hips, which will make it difficult for him theoretically to take Sean Brady down. I mean, I don't know anything about Brady's takedown defense. I'm hoping we're going to find out, though, because Colton Smith used to be a relentless wrestler. But what I would say is at 5'9", you know, with him having a low center of gravity, with him being quite a, you'll see in a minute when you watch him fight, with him being more like a compact, stocky fighter, it's probably going to be difficult for Kurt to get in deep on his legs and shoot really tight takedowns. I mean, we haven't seen a great deal of that from him in the last few years. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I mean, the way that I'm looking at this fight at the moment is we know a massive percentage of fighters lose when they make their UFC debut. You know, Sean Brady is fighting a tough UFC veteran in his debut. I know he's 10-0, but the standard of guys he's fought hasn't been great. Didn't look great against Abdul Hakim. Maybe that was an off night for him. Maybe he'll look good, in this fight we're going to watch from Colton Smith. But if you look at the odds at the moment, Court McGee's a giant favourite, around 2.90, which is plus 190 for an implied probability of 34%. And then if we look at the odds on Brady, currently around about a 1.44 favourite, which is minus 227 for an implied probability of 70%. So to bet Brady here, you've got to give him a 75% or better chance of winning. I can tell you right now, I won't be betting Brady, not at these odds, not in his debut, not when he looks so average against Abdul Hakim. If he shows up looking like this against Kurt McGee, it's going to be a very close fight. But I just want to see if he's bringing anything else to the table in this matchup against Colton Smith. Before we get into watching this fight between Colton Smith, let me just see if there are any questions that have come through on Twitch, and don't forget to leave any questions on Twitch as the video goes on, as the live stream goes on, and I will answer you as the fight is happening. Dick Turpin has asked, do you accept PayPal? I do, mate, I do. If you just sign up for a VIP membership on my website, when you're going through checkout, it will let you select PayPal as a payment option. Moneyman Investing has said, Bermudez versus Rosa is the fight I am most interested in. Do you think Rosa's neck injury and the fact he has been out for 30 months affect him? I am thinking about putting money on Bermudez at minus 150. You know what, mate? You know what, Moneyman Investing? I was actually thinking like Rosa might be a decent bet this weekend, because you know what? This is why I absolutely love these live research videos, because we can just kind of hang out and research these fights together, right? So I'm going to play the interview for you guys so that Moneyman Investing actually knows what, so that you know what Moneyman Investing is basically talking about. So if we find his interview from this week, so it's going to play some sound. Oh no, it's not. So what Moneyman Investing is basically saying is Charles Rosa, if we check out his record here, Rosa hasn't fought since April 2017. So Moneyman Investing has done the maths for us and calculated that's a 30-month layoff, which is a very, very long period of time. But more importantly than that, Rosa has been out for that period of time with a significant neck injury, and the doctors told him that he would never fight again, and he was struggling to basically get clearance from the UFC to fight, which is why he's been out for this period of time. So I'll just mute my mic and I'll see if I can find the exact part of the interview where he talks about it.
I had a neck injury, so I was out for a little bit, for 2 years. I wasn't medically cleared by the UFC. I felt okay. I was still training, so I'd be able to go some cool trips. Go to Thailand. Lived in Thailand for a little bit, training Muay Thai, so better in my kickboxing, my stand-up. Went to Holland, trained a little bit in Amsterdam, at McGee gym, Kyoko gym. So Dutch have some good kickboxing. Still over an American top team, training hard. But, I mean, even though I haven't been medically cleared and I haven't been fighting, I've still been training hard. So I just can't wait to get back in there.
And how frustrating was that, obviously, to be, in your mind, healthy training and then not be cleared? Was that...
Yeah, it's the most frustrating thing. The only thing worse is not being able to train. But, yeah, it's definitely tough because you do all this work and you don't see any progress. But that's why I'm so excited to come back and shine in Boston Friday night, because I get to see all that last 2 years of hard work and dedication and, going to put it on TV for you guys.
How does this fight week compare to the last time in Boston? Because you had an opponent switch up. You had to fight Kyle Bochniak, and now you've had plenty of notice for this fight. Have you been able to enjoy it a little bit more?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is my third time at the Garden. I'm on.
Yes, that's where you
always representing those guys.
American top team.
I train with a lot of the Boston guys. I was against Sean Soriano.
This is his ground game.
Team with the best fighters in the planet from the colleges. Manny.
Have you talked to your friend Boston Bruins forward Lightning? Are you going to
go with a Bruins jersey, which this is just as well, because my favorite part about hockey was the Celtics play come true. And, man, now definitely. I mean, I remember when the Bruins were playing the Canadiens, having the flag and just running.
Charles, you've been out for, as no one said, 2.5 years. Do you ever doubt that this moment would come again?
No, I mean, at first, I had that moment when the doctor said, you should consider, hanging it up, and that definitely was almost brought tears to my eyes when he said that. And there was a silence in the room, and I stopped and I said, what's the other option? And he didn't really say, and I told him what the other option is. I said, I'm going to defy all odds. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to beat this, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to do everything I can possibly do to come back. And so that's what I did, and luckily, I worked really. He told me that it was possible. It was improbable, but not impossible. So that's all I needed to hear, that there was even any chance, a 1% chance that I could do it. And, man, that's what I did. I put all my chips in, dedicated the last 2 years to getting healthy. I went to the best places. Luckily, the UFC has the UFC Performance Institute with some of the top specialists in the world, and I was able to go get all the physical therapy and all the treatment I needed to build my body back. And I feel like it was a blessing in disguise, because I feel like that's one of the main things that I never focused on, is the strength and conditioning aspect of it and the physical therapy.
So I just wanted to play that for you guys, just so that I can kind of, it's always, I mean, when I say stuff I've seen fighters say in interviews, when I kind of repeat it and then talk about how that might impact the fight from a betting perspective, I always get people say, I don't think it will be that much of an issue because. So I like to play the interview so you can kind of hear it straight from the horse's mouth. And the way that Charles Rosa described that injury there, where the doctors said that it was probably best that he hang it up, and it was highly unlikely he'd ever be able to fight again. It wasn't impossible, but it was improbable. That shows you that whatever neck injury Charles Rosa was dealing with, it was very, very significant. So I know fighters bounce back from terrible injuries all the time, but the neck is one area where you never really fully recover from it. I mean, a lot of the time when you get fighters who suffer really bad neck and back injuries, they just become a lot stiffer and a lot less mobile and a lot less athletic. So if you think a guy like Charles Rosa competing in the lighter weight classes, I mean, I think he's either a featherweight or a bantam. Okay, I'm sure he was a bantamweight at one point. He's been a featherweight. But anyway, in the lightweight classes as a featherweight, he's going to need to be mobile and fast and athletic. And if he's had significant neck issues, if he's a lot stiffer now, that puts him at a significant advantage, as well in the grappling. If Manny Bermudez is initiating some really hard grappling exchanges, it could get tough for Rosa. So I haven't researched that fight yet, but Money Man Investing has asked, if I think Rosa's neck injury will affect him, and I absolutely do. I think, over time we have seen back injuries, neck injuries ruin many careers. And, even though he's fought really hard to get back in the cage and heal up, these stories don't usually have a happy ending. So without any research, I am for sure leaning towards Manny Bermudez. I definitely won't be betting Charles Rosa until we see what he looks like after recovering from the neck injury. But Bermudez could be a good bet. We'll have to see when I do the fight research for that one. But yeah, neck injuries are major. Definitely wouldn't be betting Rosa this weekend. Thanks a lot, Heavy Hitter, mate. Thanks a lot. I don't have an MMAtorrents.com account, but I will check that out and see if LFA 49's on there. So thanks a lot, Heavy Hitter, dude. Can we check it now? Maybe? I don't know. I've never been on this website. Should we check it out? See if we're going to get LFA 49. That redirected me to the mirror. How strange. Okay, MMAtorrents.com. It's not working, bro. Is it definitely MMAtorrents.com? Is that the correct URL? Let me know, dude, but it's not working for me. Dick Turpin has asked if McGee is worth a 2.5 unit punt. We're about to find out, dude. Tasmanian 187 said, I think that LFA 49 is on MMA Torrents, but I don't have an account there. I know I saw it somewhere, not sure if it was MMA Torrents. I am sending out the bat signal, guys. If any of you can find that fight for me from LFA 49, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, Tom the Heist, for subscribing, dude. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot, dude. That means a lot, mate. Thanks a lot. A lot of people say they're considering a small bet on Court McGee. Heavy Hitter reminding us that Court McGee actually died from a heroin overdose and was revived. And that is when he went to train with John Hackelman at the pit and began his UFC career, or not UFC career, MMA career. Lee Dosis has asked, who have I got in my FIFA Ultimate team? Shall I get Flashy and show you? Boom! Check that out. At the touch of a button, we can actually show you, mate. This is my FIFA Ultimate team at the moment. Let me know what you think. Obviously, it's a Premier League team. Wish I could get some Cardiff players in there, but we don't have any Cardiff players. This is my FIFA Ultimate team, boys. Little switch of the screens there. So yeah, soak it up for a couple seconds, and then we will bang it back onto the other desktop. There it is. We've got Sane at left wing. We've got Aubameyang, striker, Walcott right wing, Fernandinho, Firmino, and Fabinho in midfield. Triple Brazil. Robertson, Van Dijk, Laporte, and Alexander-Arnold at the back with Alisson in goal. We've got Dele Alli, Bomber Dele Alli. Why don't he use his proper name? Much prefer Bomber Dele. Wijnaldum, Martial, Gabriel Jesus, Maddison, Pukki, Sanchez, and Ndombele, Digne. I think this Alderweireld. This is, I can't quite see. This is Kyle Walker, I think, and then David Silva and Jurgen Klopp as the manager. So yeah, that is my Ultimate Team squad. I hope you like it. What else have we got? That's a good point from Moneyman Investing as well. He's saying that Bermudez has probably got the advantage over Rosa because he's going to know that the neck's injured, so he might start hunting for nasty guillotines and stuff. Put a lot of stress on that neck. It's a really good point, man. These things rarely fully heal. Nice one, Lee. Yeah, team is looking strong, man. Team is looking strong. Saucy Secret has packed Griezmann. Very, very nice. Fabinho, Fernandinho, nobody pass. That's it. No entry. That is it. Right, boys, let's get into watching this fight. Colton Smith against Sean Brady. Here we go. Brady is the guy with the yellow bit on his butt, and Colton Smith's the guy with the knee brace. Wow, what weight class is this? Colton Smith looking much smaller than he did in the UFC. This is welterweight, right? Is this fight at welterweight? Surely not. He looks much smaller. Wow. Colton Smith looking much skinnier than he did back in the UFC. Look how skinny those legs are. Very interesting. Colton Smith much smaller. But let's see how this plays out. So Colton Smith used to just try and wet blanket people. You know what I mean? Grab a hold of him, drag him to the ground. Let's see if that's his tactic here. Interesting pointless fact as well. You see Sean Brady's got this giant tattoo on his back, which looks terrible. He's actually had it coloured in now, so when you see him on Saturday night, you'll see the tattoo finished. That's something for you to watch out for. It's like a big old red demon on his back. So he does look completely different here. But notice how he's got like that short, compact, stocky frame. Guys with this body type are usually pretty difficult to take down. Although I haven't ever seen him defend a takedown, so that is a complete assumption. So we're a minute in. Both guys still feeling each other out. Nothing really major has happened here. What I'd really like to see here is for, you know, Brady to let his hands go a little bit and look very sharp standing, because Colton Smith never really had any power in his hands. Like I say, he liked to wet blanket his opponents. So it doesn't really pose too much of a threat to Brady. So it'd be nice to see, you know, Brady showcasing his stand-up skills a little bit, because in his last fight, I wasn't that impressed. I don't like the idea of betting on a 34-year-old fighter with tons of miles on the clock that hasn't exactly looked very good over the last couple of years. But at the same time, you know, we know these guys, when they make their UFC debut, tend to start very slow. McGee won't waste any time in getting started. I mean, Brady's just not really showing me much in this fight in the first 2 minutes, or the last fight that we watched from him. Seeing a little bit of Brady's takedown defense here. I'm surprised Colton Smith waited 2.5 minutes to shoot the first takedown. He usually doesn't. He's got the full body lock here though, and that's actually the first important detail to pay attention to with Sean Brady. Now, I don't think it will play too much of a factor in this fight, because over the last couple of years, McGee hasn't gone to his wrestling that much, particularly not, you know, chain wrestling using body locks and stuff against the cage. All the takedowns McGee's gone for have been like single shot takedown entries, and if his opponent stuffed them, he's kind of retreated and gone back to the center of the octagon. But for future reference, one thing that I would watch out with Sean Brady is, because he's got a small torso, he's only 5'9", he's quite a small man for welterweight. It will make it very easy for his opponents to gain control of the body. And here we can see on 3 separate occasions in the first 3 minutes, Colton Smith's been able to go to the body lock very easily. I mean, Colton Smith's not a particularly big guy. If we look at his wingspan here, it's about average size, 6 foot tall with a 71-inch reach. So that's super interesting, right? So Colton Smith has got a really short reach for a welterweight. 71-inch reach for a welterweight is very, very low. You know, if we compare that to McGee, who's got a 75.5-inch reach, you know, if Colton Smith with 71 inches of reach is easily able to get his hands around the smaller body of Brady and control his body on that body lock, imagine how much easier it's going to be for McGee to get this position if he chooses to take it. So that might not be too much of a factor in this fight, because McGee doesn't really go to this position, but it's definitely worth thinking about in future Sean Brady fights. It's going to be pretty damn easy to control him in the clinch and work for body lock takedowns and throws. Saucy Secret is saying that the tattoo is not good at all from Mr. Brady, and you'll see it in all its glory on Saturday night, coloured in with lots of red. So just battling for position in the clinch. This is a position Court McGee actually likes, chipping away at his opponents in the clinch, not really doing a lot with the cage control. Now we get to see a bit of Brady's wrestling. And that's annoying. That doesn't really tell us much because it wasn't really the strongest takedown attempt and Smith gave it up so easily. We really didn't get to learn much about Brady's offensive wrestling at all. We might get to learn a little bit about his top control though. So it appears Colton Smith was able to pop right back up to his feet. Oh, he gets reversed quite easily. Very nice from Colton Smith off the bottom. That's a strange reversal to get caught with. Almost got like body lock reverse from the bottom, which you never see. Very, very strange. But showing Brady's small body type, causing him big problems here. What's actually going to be interesting to see... Colton Smith fucked up then. Colton Smith was thinking of going for the body lock throw and actually retreated midway through and ended up just pulling guard. And Flow Combat, man, I paid $30 for this fight. Why is the quality so bad? $30 I paid to watch this. What the hell? $30 goddamn dollars. And the quality is very, very poor. I do apologise, boys. Hoping we would get some HD viewing here. Let's go into the second round. Didn't learn a great deal about Sean Brady there. And again, Smith just giving up these takedowns so easily. It's not telling us anything about Brady's wrestling. I mean, it certainly doesn't look that strong. But it's hard to gauge his wrestling when his opponents are giving up takedowns so easily here. Thanks a lot, Heavy Hitter. Heavy Hitter's dropping in some links to a website that that may have the LFA 49 fight, so we will check that out afterwards. Really want to watch that fight against the B-Net because he didn't look great in his last fight at CFFC 72. He's not blowing my hair back here either. He's got his hands connected. I mean, what does that tell us, really? Did a great job of getting his hands connected around Colton Smith's hips, nice and deep, and just dragging him away from the cage, but Colton Smith's just giving up the takedown so easily. But what we do know is it doesn't look like Brady's got a very heavy top game because Smith's been easily able to pop back up to his feet. And now I'm kind of wondering, like, why is McGee a really big underdog here? I'm not seeing a lot from Brady. Dan the Man is saying Brady looks amateurish. I agree with you, dude. And thanks a lot for the Twitch Prime subscription as well, man. I really appreciate it, dude. Let's see if Brady can maintain this top position here, or if Colton Smith can find a way out of it. What's very surprising to me is how easily Colton Smith's given up these takedowns, because when he was in the UFC, he was a very strong grappler. Although it is worth noting, I'm pretty sure there was a long layoff. Yeah, there was like a 2-year layoff in between his fight against Sean Brady and his previous fight against Joey Valadez. So that would perhaps explain the poor performance. And also, oh, we've lost where we are. What is going on here? That would explain the poor performance. I'm not liking Flow Combat. This is $29.99 a month, boys. $29.99 a month for Flow Combat. I am not feeling it at all so far. Right, we were here. So it's Colton Smith trying to hit a reversal on a Kimura, from a Kimura. Doesn't get it, but it does enable him to get over to the cage, which he uses as a tool to stand back up. Now, why have you still got hold of the Kimura? Let go, turn into your opponent, start fighting for underhooks. So Colton Smith's making a big mistake here, and he's going to get taken down again because of it. but he is able to pop right back up. So this fight is saying more about what Colton Smith has done wrong than what Sean Brady has done correctly, right? Now, you can only beat what is put in front of you, but again, not that impressed by what Brady's bringing to the table at all. At all. And if you bet Court McGee this weekend, it's going to be a gamble, but understand the risk to reward ratio is very good with McGee being a big underdog. I'm just not that impressed by Brady here. Throw into the mix is his UFC debut, Octagon jitters. He's a young, inexperienced guy. I mean, why is Colton Smith fishing for a Kimura? He's going to get taken down again. It's frustrating to watch. He is handing these takedowns to Brady on a plate. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, Saucy Secret is just saying doesn't see Brady being able to hold Court down. I agree with you, dude. I definitely agree with you. And they're back up again. Frustrating to watch. Not impressed with Brady, boys. Not that impressed at all. Really not impressed. Why is he a big favourite? Can anyone tell me why he's a big favourite? Is it Brady's hometown? A heavy hitter saying it's Brady's hometown. I don't think it is. No, Brady's from Philadelphia. So he won't have... It's not like his hometown. Yeah, he lives and trains in Philadelphia. So I don't think Brady's from Boston, dude. So that shouldn't weigh in. Doesn't have home advantage. Tasmanian 187 has asked, when was this fight? It was from March 2018, so around just under 18 months ago. But he didn't look much better here as well. This is the missing piece of the puzzle, boys. We need to find this fight. We have to find this, boys. Please, I'm sending out the bat signal. Please, if anyone's watching this on YouTube, on Twitch, anywhere, please help me find this fight. I need to watch this fight. Because right now, Court McGee is very tempting. Yeah, I agree. Saucy Secret just saying that, you know... Oh, I will actually take it back, though. So Saucy Secret is basically saying that, you know, his back control was pretty poor here, right? See, he's got one hook in on the left side. Didn't get the right hook in, which ultimately led to Colton Smith working his way out of this position. But I think one of the reasons why Brady's back control is going to be so poor is because, remember, he's undersized for the division, so his legs are going to be quite short, which means he's not going to be able to get those deep hooks in play. Iowell Chapo has asked, who's his opponent for that fight you were looking at? Which fight do you mean, dude? Let me know what you think, dude. So I don't know what you mean, IOL Chapo. Let me know, mate. Let me know what you mean. Here we go, third round. Just showing Brady, show us anything else in this round. Very underwhelmed by him so far. Very underwhelmed. Decent leg kicks, but, you know, you'll need more than leg kicks to get past a guy like Court McGee. Body kick hurt Colton Smith there. Certainly looks to have decent takedown defense, I suppose. I mean, look, Colton Smith just giving up these takedowns so easily. Oh, yeah, sorry, Iowell Chapo. I really want to find Brady's fight from LFA 49 against Gilbert Urbina. one of the reasons why Colton Smith's takedown defense might have gone to shit. I mean, it didn't used to be that bad in the UFC, and maybe, you know, he's wearing that knee brace. Maybe he's just got a really bad knee injury, which prevents him from, you know, being able to put a lot of weight on that knee and defend takedowns. Here we can see Colton Smith about to work his way back to his feet again. Any second now he's going to stand back up. And Sean Brady certainly doesn't look like he has the heaviest top game. Colton Smith can stand up here. He's taking his sweet ass time though. Maybe he doesn't have the energy. There he goes. And again, allows Brady to get in deep on his hips and drag him back down. But boys, anyone watching this, please don't think that all these takedowns are because Brady is a strong wrestler. He isn't. He absolutely isn't. Colton Smith's gifting these takedowns to Brady on a plate. Colton Smith making life very easy for him in this third round. Alright, I've seen enough. I just paid $30 for that. But it did confirm that Sean Brady's not very good. And I'm not sure why he is such a big favourite here. But let's take a look. Heavy Hitter 8 has sent us some links for some sites where we might be able to find this LFA 49 fight. Let's have a cheeky little butchers here. LFA 49. Brilliant. Nightmare. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. We have to sign up for an account, do we? It's invite only. Donate to become a member. Let's do that. Happy days. Let's do this. Can we do this now? I'm going to do this, boys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to donate to this website and see if they've got I'm going to see if they've got this fight on there, which will help me make my opinion up, right? Because Brady was quite underwhelming here against Taj Abdul Hakim, quite underwhelming against Colton Smith. I'm going to go to this MMA torrent site and see if they've got this fight from LFA 49 before I make up my opinion on this fight. But you're all big boys watching this, right? You know what Court McGee is like, right? You know what Court McGee brings to the table. You've just seen what Sean Brady brings to the table. You know, Court McGee is a big underdog. I think it's fair to say you'd have to be insane to bet Sean Brady. Very, very underwhelming. At the moment, it certainly looks like there's value on Court McGee, but I'm going to hope that this fight that I want to watch is on this website. And I'm also going to hope that one of you boys comes through for me in a big way and shares it. Shares a link to it in the YouTube comments below if you know where I could find it. But that is pretty much going to be it, boys. That is pretty much going to be it for this video. There are no more questions there. If you're watching on YouTube, you liked the video, please hit the like button below. I'm very, very sorry. There won't be any like breakdown videos for the big fights this weekend between like Weidman and Reyes and stuff, because they take a lot of planning and time to put together. And like I say, with this event being on a Friday instead of Saturday, I've got one last day to research these fights, so I'm super busy at the moment. But I will do a couple more of these live research videos. Over the next 24 hours, we will be covering the fight between Karl Bochniak and Sean Woodson, and also Molly McCann and Diana Belbita. So take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this fight. Will you be betting it? And yeah, hopefully I can find this being a fight. But take care, guys, and I will see you all very soon.